Welcome to the Simplified Stamper. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Hi everyone. I just wanted to bring this video to you. This is my card layer templates. So here we are showing you, I'm just showing you the different layers. They go from layer 1 all the way through layer 13, and I number them so that way I don't have to even think about what order to put them in. And you'll see that blue piece of paper that doesn't match all the others. That's that stinking layer number 5 that went missing the other day. And I just stack them all together, keep them on my desk just like this, and hold them together with the binder clip. And they're just always there on my desk, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and show you how I put and use these layers. That is my template number 2, and I went ahead and cut that spare piece of paper. We're going to use the base to practice with. So if you put so layer 2, you see what kind of edge there is around that. So I cut that paper to the same size as template 2, so you can see how that would fit on a card base. Then I went ahead and was trying to figure out which templates I wanted to use for my layering pieces. So that's template 10, and I went and kind of just lined it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and line it up with template number 13 on top of that. I kind of worked on this before the video, so I had some type of idea, but that is the overall idea of what these templates do. They just kind of give you an idea of where you're going to lay your paper and what pieces, what sizes you need to cut your pieces. So here I am just trying to decide what I'm going to do when it comes to stacking everything together. It doesn't have to be exact, but I am a perfectionist, so I'm just trying to figure out how I want to lay it all together, and then I'm choosing my sentiment, which makes it easy because I only have one Happy Easter sentiment. So here's me pulling that out of this stamp set, and for the life of me I can't think of the company that makes these. I'm sure all of you probably know, but this stamp set is really cute. I love it. You can layer up the cross and stuff, so I'm getting kind of an idea. That's kind of basically the idea of what I want for my card, is something like this. So now I need to take the paper that I'm actually going to use and put it where the two templates 10 and 13 are. I had pre-chose the paper and pre-cut it out. So there's template 10, and as soon as I lined up my pretty paper that I chose, I realized, oh shoot, I'm not supposed to be using template 10. I used template 11. So I'm looking for template 11 to show you. So you can see that the 4 1/8 by 2 7/8, that's exactly what that paper is cut to. So I'm going to put this where I had that layer on the paper. I'm moving my card base template and move that out of the way, and putting my stack of papers together so I don't lose them. And then the next piece of paper that I'm going to use is a really pretty green. It came in that scrap pack that I was telling everyone about last week that I got from Walmart for like less than $3. It was awesome. This green paper is really very textured, very fibrous. As a matter of fact, there's rose petals embedded in it. You'll see one in the back. So here's this, and there's the two templates that I was going to use. So now I'm just going to glue down the paper. I'm using Bearly Art Precision Craft Glue. It's new for me. It's actually a brand new glue company. I happened to see it advertised on Facebook and decided to give them a try. It is amazing glue. It works really well, and you don't need very much at all. I got a huge package, and I think I'll probably have it for a year. So I'm going to glue down my flower paper. Now this paper came to me in some Happy Mail that came this week, and sitting in front of me is not the woman's name. I wish I had it. Gosh, I can't remember her name. Anyway, and I decided I had to use it. And the thing about these papers, now I loved her paper that she sent me, and it was just so cute. But what I decided to do with this card is to use papers that were already, and different things that are already cut out and colored, and that I didn't have to stamp. The only thing I stamped was the actual sentiment. So now I'm going to line up that green paper and see how that works. Okay, so now I just have to glue that piece of paper down. Again, pulling out my Bearly Art glue. It does have a pin in it. You have to keep that pin in there or it'll clog up pretty quickly, actually. So I've been practicing putting that little pin back in, because if I forget, it will clog up. But you can see on that green paper how little glue is needed to glue this down. I was a really big Tombow liquid glue user for a while until winter hit and it just oozed all over everything. But this, I think, you might actually even need less of this than you do of Tombow. So I really like this glue. Now, I'm going to put down that green. The thing about this card, that background, I did not like it. I put it together. It's not on the best quality cardstock, and it wasn't blending very well, and I didn't like it. So I just put it in a bin. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to make this card today, and I'm going to use things that are already cut and already colored, and that piece of paper was one of them. And I'm like, I'm going to make it into something I like. And I will tell you, I did not like that background, but I loved how my card turned out. So here's me just cutting the piece of paper for the sentiment. I actually cut it a little tiny bit too wide, and so I ended up trimming the edges on it. Actually, I even stamped it the first time incorrectly, so good thing I had my stamp positioning tool here. And I went ahead and stamped the sentiment in the same color as the cross. That way I could tie in those colors, because they're really not found in the background paper or in the Easter eggs that I chose. So you'll see that Happy Easter is stamped actually on both sides of the paper because I messed up. So here's that. I hope you're all doing well. I know this is crazy times right now. I'm so thankful to have my craft to keep my mind busy and to give me purpose. So there is my Happy Easter sentiment. You can actually see in the right light that there's actually the other side stamped as well. And here's the sentiment. You can see that I tore the paper and then actually used a sponge dauber to add some yellow to the torn edge. Now I'm just trying to I changed my mind on the eggs here, and I decided to go with a different egg. So me and my indecisiveness kicked in, and I'm cleaning up my mess and making sure I put my template with the other one so I don't lose it, because I was just sure that's what I would do. So now all I have left to do is glue down the eggs, the cross, and the sentiment, and then I can add that whole piece to our card base. So trying to make sure that pin doesn't get lost. I don't know what I'd do without it, because that's the only thing that keeps it from drying out. So that glue from drying out. So here's me just putting a little tiny bit of glue on that cross, and we'll get all this stuff glued down. But I can't say enough about this card. I actually really do like the way it turned out, and maybe it's because I really hated that blended background when it first started. I just did not like the way it came out. You have to tell me, because I am new to this blending thing with the brushes and things. I started stamping many, many years ago, almost 30 years ago, walked away from it when I had started my family, and literally gave away over 1,000 stamps to the local school and every bit of my supplies, every single supply. And the ones that I didn't give them, I gave to my sister in California, because she's a teacher. And then when our youngest, well, now she's 12, I decided last year to pick up stamping again. And everything is new. Like the entire craft is new. It's like starting over learning a new language because nothing about stamping is the same as it was 30 years ago. So we stamped everything, at least I did, on glossy white cardstock and embossed it and colored it with markers or chalk, coloring it with chalk and sealing it with different sealants like hairspray and stuff like that was a very popular thing then. But this blending of things really wasn't something we did. We did, but we didn't do it the same, to the same degree. So, do you all use a glossy cardstock when you're doing your blending? I don't even own glossy cardstock at this point. But I was wondering how everybody gets such beautiful blends. Even my good white cardstock doesn't get the smooth texture that I see done in by some other people. So if you can give me that that knowledge, I'm sure you all know, I would really, really appreciate it, because I'm just not sure if it's the paper I'm using, or it probably has to be the paper that I'm using, to be really honest, but I just didn't know that people really used glossy anymore, and that's the only thing I could think of that would give that blend. But anyway, so I'm putting on those eggs, and then now I'm adhering my sentiment, and I'm cutting my my foam strips to fit. So, and you'll see me trying to get all that on there really well. I really think the torn paper adds the perfect texture to a lot of cards. I do it all the time. I see a lot of people use lots of different things, but I don't know, that I know that I can get, I do have even the pinking shears, or the decal edge scissors, which is what I used around my card base, if you look. But torn paper, I think, just looks phenomenal. I do not know why. It's just something I like. And I think the colors are actually coming together really well on this card as well. Just had to trim that a little bit so it didn't hang over too far. And we will pop this up on the card, and I really just gives that little bit of dimension. I hope this video just kind of helped help you visualize exactly what I use those templates for. I use them all the time for all of my cards. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about making one out of like narrower rectangles, because often we'll do like strips of paper, that type of thing, and really narrow triangles. And I thought, gosh, I should probably make one with that shape as well. So now I'm just kind of popping that sentiment on. Another trick, ladies, if you're new, I'm sure everybody knows this, who's been doing this for a while, but I did not, so I thought I'd share. Make your paper too big, and then cut it down. Is so much easier than trying to measure. So you'll see here that, you can see the back of this piece of paper is colored because it's literally was in my trash pile. And then you just cut off the paper at the edges, and it looks like you know how to measure to make things fit, but you don't have to because it's already done. So now I'm just taking this and putting my glue on there, and I'm going to glue it onto my card base. And we are just about done, ladies. And I really think it actually turned out cute. When I got this part on, I thought, oh, this is cute, and then I had to add some sequins because it just needed a little bit of bling. And this didn't turn out half bad, but once you see the sequins on there, look how cute that is. It's super cute. These ones are from Stampin' Up, and again, I'm using that Bearly Art glue. It just takes the smallest amount. I did have to let it sit for about 10 minutes before everything was really set in place. And that is our card. I really hope this helped you understand how to use the templates. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.
You can find more of the Simplified Stamper on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.